girlfriend says, pickleball net for our cul-de-sac. One more thing for my wife and son to be competitive on. Pickleball's an interesting game.
It is.
I like it. I just can't figure out how to score. Keeping score in that sport is really difficult, especially if you're used to playing tennis. Somebody has this is Justin from Swartz Creek, a Blackstone flat top grill. It's awesome. And by the way, John and Heather, I did look up sous vide, whatever, S-O-U-S-V-I-D-E. This is interesting. Now, John, you're a cooker, and I'm not, so. Also known as low temperature long time cooking. It's a method of cooking in which food is placed in a plastic pouch or glass jar and cooked in a water bath for longer than usual cooking times, usually 1 to 7 hours, up to 72 or more hours in some cases, at a precisely regulated temperature. Temperature much lower than usually used for cooking, around 55 to 60 degrees Celsius, let's say, 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit for meat, and higher for vegetables.
So is that French for crockpot?
No, I don't think it doesn't look like one. It looks like it's like I'm looking at,
That's what it sounds like. I don't put my crockpot meals in a plastic bag, but
no, it's really weird. It looks like this device, and you put it in it costs anywhere. Look, I'm looking on Google right now on Amazon, anywhere from $140 to $200. And you put it in a pouch. Seems pretty easy. Maybe I can even do it. My best purchase is 3 hours of Perdomo cigars and a digital meat thermometer for a better meat smoking result. That's Sean from the truck. Kenny
Sean, love you, man.
Kenny from Canton, the air fryer. I had to buy it twice. So excited, I threw away these accessories in the box and had to buy them again.
Oh, no.
Best purchase is something Kang, I think, purchased a few years ago. Outdoor griddle. It's from Matt and Canton.
Mm-hmm.
Brad from BCC, wherever the heck that is. I got a series of hardwood classic jerseys. 94-95 Olajuwon, 92-93 Pippen, 91-92 Chris Webber, and 01-02 McGrady jerseys.
Decorating the man cave.
Damn right. Howard in Westlands has bought an outdoor projector and movie screen. We're on our second face court of wood. The guy as well makes fires almost every night, and they sit out and watch movies.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And I bought my wife an espresso machine for her birthday. It's like a Keurig, but for espresso. Most use I've ever got out of a present for someone else.
Nice job.
Yes.
Yes.
By the way, we do have a question for you, John, about fishing from John from Anchor Bay. Ever try whip fishing? 3-foot rod, pair of pencil plugs or Rapalas, caught walleye like crazy.
Sounds amazing. I have not. I've seen the YouTube videos, and it looks like it would be a hell of a lot of fun. Location would be absolutely key.
Okay, now what are pencil plugs? Lures?
No, well, yes, yeah. I mean, pencil plugs and Rapalas, they're all, yeah.
See, my fishing prowess is basically put a little bit of Wonder Bread, you roll it up in a ball, put it on a hook, put it in there, and hope like a little sunfish catches it.
A little sunfish, maybe a catfish.
Yeah, that was camp, That's what we used to do at camp. Fishing at camp.
Put the hot dog on there.
Yeah, every once in a while. Give the sunfish a little treat. A little hot dog. 97.1 the 10.
When big things happen in Detroit sports, you hear it first on Detroit's #1 sports station, 97.1 The Ticket. Breaking news powered by Radio.com Sports and brought to you by Pennzoil. Motor oils from natural gas. The proof is in the Pennzoil. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A Radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket.
We're brought to you by Sold by MarkZ.com. The Detroit Tigers fall to the Chicago White Sox yesterday afternoon at Comerica Park. Final score 7-5. Tigers dropped the final 2 games of the 3-game set. Matthew Boyd continues his struggles on the mound. His ERA now stands at 10.24. He allowed 7 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. Both Jonathan Scope and Willie Castro go deep for the Tigers. The record now stands at 9-7. Next up, Cleveland Indians for a 3-game set at Comerica Park starting on Friday night. Tiger slugger C.J. Cron says he will need knee surgery. He's not sure when, but he's uncertain if he will return in 2020. Despite the Big Ten postponing their football seasons, both Michigan and Michigan State continue their team workouts. They hope to play a season next spring or perhaps as early as January, as proposed by Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. Stanley Cup playoffs game ones. Bruins over the Hurricanes 4-3. Islanders double up the Capitals 4-2. Avs over the Coyotes 3-0. Flyers 2, Canadians 1, and the Canucks beat the Blues 5-2. At the Ticket Update desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1 The Ticket or radio.com.
Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning. It is Thursday. Heather Park excited because she hates Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right, Stoney.
Just wanna
it
make
feels
sure.
like a Thursday. I mean, it never doesn't not feel like Thursday on a Thursday.
You're running downhill. I mean, we just need to change your perception of what Thursday is.
know.
It's just Friday light.
Yeah.
I know, everyone tells me that, and I see the light. I can, but I don't feel it.
But what?
That's
But
the
yes,
problem.
I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, so to speak, because we talk about this frequently. But the question I always have when we talk about this is, what's so damn special about Tuesday? That should be the one. Tuesday or Wednesday. That should be the one we're really.
So Wednesday, I'm okay with Wednesday because I basically walk around all day long and I show my kids the YouTube video of the Geico commercial every week and of the camel walking around. My kids are so tired of that, and I think it's so funny, especially now that they're done with it, and it just makes it better. Tuesday, I agree with you. Tuesday, what the heck is Tuesday for?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing good.
I don't mind Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday's the one that, Monday stinks because, you're coming out of the weekend. Tuesday, it's not much better because you still have 4 days till the weekend. Wednesday, you're building up. Thursday, really today, and then Friday. I mean, it's just this gradual incline that Heather Park refuses to embrace. And it's just,
I do.
It's very
It's not-
troubling.
That's not how it affects me. It's very different for me.
Well, you know what? It's okay.
I get to
It's hard to
Thursday,
even
it's
tell
exhausting.
what day it is right now anyway.
I know.
That's
Other
true.
than, I know that we're doing this Monday through Friday, so it's a weekday.
Yeah.
But other than that, they really don't differentiate much at all.
No, they really don't. Well, John, I don't know if you spent the afternoon watching your beloved Tigers. That was a great start to that game, huh, boy? First two batters, home runs, boom. Gives up 4. They lose 7-5. The bright spot, the bullpen once again was very good. Willie Castro called him up, 3 for 4, home run, so that's pretty good. They're now 9-7. Still in that wild card, or whatever you want to call it, because the first two teams in this division make it. So
Yeah, they're still in the playoff mix.
Still in the mix. But like I said, we'll see what happens once they start playing better teams. And they lose 2 of 3 to the White Sox. They got Cleveland in. Now, Cleveland's pitching is unbelievable. Their hitting is not so good. So this is like a litmus test. If you can't beat the Indians 2 out of 3 the way they've been not swinging the bats, then this is what's going to happen. Because they play, I think, the White Sox again next week in Chicago. Then they play Cleveland. They haven't even played Minnesota yet. Minnesota's the best team in the division.
Yeah.
That's what's discouraging. Jeff Lesson, the update. C.J. Cron, he may not even come back. That stinks. But whatever. It's the way it is. For the Tigers. Watch them roar.
Bless you, boys.
Yeah, exactly. So you lived through it.
Yes, I did. I still have some newspapers
I'm sure
from
you
that
do.
year.
I have a lot of old newspapers from the Stanley Cups and things like that I did save. I even have some stuff framed from the mid-'70s when my Flyers won Stanley Cups. I still have some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't laminate a lot of them, so they're really yellowed over the years, those newspapers. And the funniest thing
That's what I
was,
like about it.
yeah, but you probably should frame them or do something with them now to preserve at least what they're going to look like. The sad thing for me is, at least on my Philadelphia stuff, is two of the newspapers that I have from when the Phillies won. I can't remember when the Phillies won in '80 or the Flyers in '74, '75. That I have. Some of those newspapers don't even exist anymore. The Philadelphia Bulletin, which was my staple in the afternoon when I used to come home from school. But we talked about during the break, or before the show started, how like the Detroit News, and unfortunately, in order to read the great Wojo, it looks like you have to subscribe and pay online, like $3 a month, what it is right now, which is not a lot of money, but I'm sure they'll eventually jack it up if they get enough people to do it. But it's the old guy in me. I enjoy having the newspaper in my hands. We love, you and I, Sundays, just sitting on the couch, a cup of coffee, or on the deck in the backyard, reading the Sunday newspaper. The problem is, it doesn't take as much of your time anymore because the Sunday paper is not what it used to be, unless you go and buy the New York Times.
Yeah, I agree, and I have done that. I've got a great Sunday morning tradition, especially for everything outside of football season. And this year I'll have more free time. Maybe I'll just continue this tradition throughout football season. Is I get up and there's a gas station that's about 1.5 miles from my house, and I go for a walk, take the dog, go for a walk, get the newspaper, and come back. And to me, it's an opportunity for me to take a look at the headlines, think about them on the way home. Then I get to sit there and have a cup of coffee. Just a great way to start the day, heading into the work week. And I just like you having that in my hand. Whether it's a book, I can't read a book I certainly can't read it on my phone. And I can't read it on a tablet or the computer because it's just not comfortable. I want to be able to sit in my chair, have a cup of coffee, and hold a book in my hand. It's the same for a newspaper with me.
I agree with you. I mean, I've tried. Kindle, is okay because if you have it, if it's big enough where you can almost hold it like a book and just scroll, every page. I can
like
do
to
that.
see my progress. I like to look at it and go, boy, look at the good work I've done.
Yes, you put the little dog ear, when you're done, or you put some kind of like bookmarks,
Yes.
Yes.
everything of the past, right?
Yeah.
No. I mean, maybe an actual bookmark is, but I still like to use a bookmark instead of flipping the corner over.
Like when you're on vacation, and Heather, you're going to be on vacation next
Yeah.
week. If you sit at the beach or outside on a deck or wherever, if you're reading a book, wouldn't you rather have the actual book than reading it on a tablet?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I don't like reading on a tablet.
And there's just, I know that you said that the Kindle, and I agree, and looking at the Kindle, there is something about it in regards to, it just, I don't know if it relaxes your eyes enough so that it seems like you're reading paper, but it's still not there.
I know. Well, it just shows that, this happens. The young people, although my daughter's, she still reads books. I don't think she reads as much off tablets as some people. To me, it's just so much easier. It is easier with the Kindle. I get that. But it's the book thing. There's no doubt about it. Now, I mentioned the Tigers, and real quick here, we joked Matthew Boyd. He's got a major problem. We'll get into it later in the show. Once again, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs. He's been horrible this season. And I don't, hindsight's 20/20, but they had a lot of suitors, not to give as much as what Al Avila thought he was worth. But maybe they should have traded Matthew Boyd at the deadline. Maybe not even last year, maybe 2 years ago when he really had some things going on. Now, when you watch these games, even at Comerica Park, with the crowd noise and guys hit a home run, you hear some cheers and the Tiger roar. But they don't have the cardboard cutouts that have at some stadiums. Where we mentioned in Oakland, I think it was, they had the guy from Weekend at Bernie's, and you see some famous people. Now, Greg was watching a game. They actually had just regular fans, but they were wearing masks.
That's correct. I was watching Rangers Ends on ESPN Plus yesterday, and I was noticing they're playing the game in Texas, and it had the cardboard cutouts behind the plate, the guys seeing like you do see in other ballparks. But the cardboard cutouts were wearing face masks. Not the people in the photo were wearing face masks. The actual cardboard cutout was actually wearing a face mask over the top of it.
Oh, so they can. That's weird.
It was a little much.
Especially in Texas, I wouldn't think that would be where you would see the whole mask thing putting it on a fake picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major waste. So it's a real mask. It's not the picture.
Real mask on the cardboard cutout.
And the real mask, it's got to be a pretty large size mask. I would think.
It looked like it was about the regular size that it is.
Life size.
Life size, yes. Thank you, John.
You know what? It sounds kind of funny because I'm watching some of the Korean stuff and they do some of that with they did when they weren't allowed fans in there. It's like they put the mask on the mascot. But this does seem a little much. If you're gonna do it, I think you do it where you put a fake, whatever. You take a picture of the person with the mask. You don't use a real mask. And here we are again, worrying about something that who really gives a rat's ass in the grand scheme of things, right?
So this would classify as maybe one of the oddest or maybe you could say worst places to use a mask. Where's been the funniest place that you've seen somebody put a mask on? And I'll give you an example. I was down in Kansas City visiting a friend, and they have this museum in downtown Kansas City, and it's got a gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex out front of it. And they had put this gigantic mask on it. And it just, I don't know what it was, it struck me as hilarious. And I couldn't stop laughing.
That seems funny to me because I love when, animals do human things. To me, that's, obviously a dinosaur is not really an animal, but especially a statue. But I think that's pretty funny. They should put one on the Spirit of Detroit.
Sure.
They
I'm surprised they haven't.
I know. They have the big jerseys that they put when we used to have good teams.
Yeah.
I think they did do a mask.
Did they?
Early on in the pandemic. I'm pretty sure they did. It was like a bandana type mask, not a medical mask. But I think they did. I do.
Early in the pandemic, I got criticized for having a mask on a driving range.
Well, it was an N95
It was an
mask.
N95 mask. Yes,
is why
exactly.
people we were supposed to be donating them to hospitals and things like that.
I know. Well,
But
I know. I get it. That was maybe not the wisest photo op to do. I basically took it right off after that. All right. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. On the program this morning, we're going to go deep into the archives of finding the best number 18 in Detroit/Michigan sports. And if you have any suggestions, especially for the directional schools that I couldn't find any, please let us know. Because the major players, there's one who is really, really good, and the others, there's a lot of borderline guys. The 3 of the 4 are probably going to be, not that great, but there's not much to choose from, especially the Tigers. Awful. Also, we're going to reinstitute the greatest. This is something we used to do on Thursdays. We've stopped the last few weeks. The greatest of something. We've done cereals, we've done candy, we've done all sorts of stuff. In honor of John Jansen, the greatest football movies. The greatest football movies. That's coming up at 8:35. Heather has news next.
You guys, it seems that Mike Tyson and his neighbors are not getting along. In fact, they're feuding. They're in this huge feud, and you're never going to believe why.
Want to get away, relax, just simply have a great time. Go to Las Vegas. They got everything we need because they're taking all the necessary precautions. Make sure you stay safe while enjoying all the comforts of the great Las Vegas Hotel. We obviously have all high gaming, socially distanced energy. At night like that you want, they got great food there too. Of course, you know the Tropical Horizontal Italian Steakhouse. There are locations here, but the one in Vegas was voted the best steak in downtown Vegas. You want something a little more casual? They got American Cooking Island right there. And at the D, you want to golf? Don't hesitate. Bring your clubs, and they'll hook you up with great golf courses. They'll set you up with tee times. Vegas has awesome golf, and the folks at the D, concierge service, second to none. They're the best. All right, here's the deal. Go to thed.com, book your room today, and if you're not even staying there, go to the Long Bar, hang out, have a great time. It's a wonderful experience when you go every year. And have a great time as well. You will too. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
www.jam
Looks like there's 1,000 bees in your air conditioning building a nest. Don't hesitate. Call the experts at Flame. That's Flame Heating and Cooling. Go online now to flamefurnace.com or call 888-234-2340. That's 888-234-2340. Right now at LaFontaine Buick GMC of Ann Arbor, lease a 2020 Buick Encore GX Demo for as low as $179 a month. The all-new Encore GX, fully equipped with advanced technology such as Amazon Alexa integration and built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot. Hurry into LaFontaine Buick GMC of Ann Arbor or shop LaFontaine Buick GMC AnnArbor.com today. Lease 24 months at 10,000 miles per year, 2,500 plus tax, title, and plate due at signing. Need GM employee pricing and Buick GMC lease and household. No security deposit. Ends 8/31/20. Tito's Handmade Vodka is distilled from 100% corn and certified gluten-free. In the mid-90s, Tito Beverage built his very own micro-distillery in Austin, Texas, and put his life savings into it. He maxed out 19 credit cards. He continues to produce award-winning, smooth, handmade vodka on the same land where it all started. Over 20 years later, Tito's has won the unanimous Judges' Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, among other awards. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more of the Tito's story.
Your home. It's more than a mortgage payment. It's where your child took their first steps and had their first sleepover. FSM protects your home from the ground up, offering basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, gutters, and even standby generators. Every year, thousands of homeowners trust us because we're changing what a home contractor looks like, giving you peace of mind, protecting you, your family, and your home.
Good news, guys. The internet's on sale. Like high-speed internet access to everything you love and need. Shopping, browsing, streaming, at an unbelievably low price for a limited time. Switch to WOW today and get super fast internet 100 with no contracts and contact-free installation on sale for only $39.99 per month. And while you're at it, double the speed for just $5 more. Sign up today at wowray.com. Limited time offer for new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oil change coming up? We can help you out. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need it fast, we can help you get it fast. Whether it's at home with our next day delivery or in store and curbside with our free same day pickup. The choice is yours. Getting the job done just got easy. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
A better tomorrow starts today with Wendy's breakfast. A tomorrow that says bacon, not bacon. Where fresh eggs reign like opportunity, honey butter goodness is spread, and the Frosty is Gino. At Wendy's, we don't ask what tomorrow holds, but rather, what will you hold tomorrow? Will it be the breakfast Baconator or the honey butter chicken biscuit? No matter what you choose, tomorrow's looking good. At participating U.S. Wendy's. What's hot for business this week at Staples?
Small prices, big savings.
Help your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices.
From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and hand sanitizer.
This week at Staples, get 40% back in rewards when you spend $75 on ink or $175 on toner.
Shop in-store or pick up curbside.
Save big this week at Staples.
Ends 8/15. Exclusions apply. Curbside available in most stores. Visit store or staples.com/48rewards for details.
From muscle pain, body aches, to strains, maximum arthritis. It works fast and you won't stink. Its unique formula with EB4 penetrates deep to relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more.
It's all about the Tullymore Zone this week, and right now, buy any Tullymore Tucson or
picture it happening around here. So they obviously.
Do you have to be to start with? I mean, I would think that would be part of the issue.
That's what I thought. I mean, maybe I don't know enough about it, but I picture you want to be on either like a ledge or a hill or something where you can kind of run off of it. So maybe that's what these people were doing, but I pictured it. It says that they took off from a residence in the area, so I just picture like somebody in their front yard. Yeah, like strapping on this parachute, just like running. And I mean, it sounds like it wouldn't go very well.
So you're not connected to anything? Like parasailing, you're connected to a boat, basically.
No, you're not connected to anything but your parachute. Yes. Yeah. So, very unfortunate for them. Just didn't seem like a very good idea.
No.
But I don't know the area, I guess. You guys, Warren police are looking for an Ace Hardware wallet snatcher. Yeah, they say that they're hoping somebody is going to be able to recognize the suspect who they say was shopping at an Ace Hardware. It was at 9 Mile and Ryan Road last week when he was busted stealing an elderly woman's wallet. She forgot her wallet on the counter, and instead of bringing it out to her, he took it for himself. And police say that he was buying drywall mud and tape and putty knives, so they think that maybe he's doing some drywall work somewhere in that Warren area. So keep an eye out for this guy.
No surveillance cameras at the Ace Hardware there?
Yes, they actually do have some security camera footage of him, so they released some images, hoping that somebody will recognize him, which they always do.
Yeah, well, and
They
I
always
mean,
do.
you know that obviously probably the number one thing for a thief is, hey, we want to pick on somebody weaker than you are. But an old lady, come on, man.
I know.
That just
It's
sucks.
heartless.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's heartless,
I
yes. So Novi High School's robotics team is actually stepping up to help create personal protective equipment for the district's teachers and staff. I think this story is really, really neat. So Frog Force, that's the name of the robotics team, has actually spent their pandemic summer, putting in the final touches on thousands of face shields. So there's about 120 members on this robotics team, and in the beginning of the pandemic, they actually were building face shields for first responders and healthcare workers who obviously needed them the most. They built 2,300 face shields, delivered them to hospitals and to police stations, and then the administrators at the school district said, hey, we would love for you guys to build some face shields for all the teachers and staff members. So they took on that challenge as well. They've been using 3D printers. They got a lot of donations, and that's exactly what they're doing. And one of the members says, hey, this is a win-win for everybody, because they said they get a really warm feeling in their heart knowing that they're giving back for a good cause.
Way to go. That's good.
Yeah.
It's what you think. When I first heard, this is obviously over a decade ago, like schools have robotics teams. I've seen that. Really? But the more you think about it, there's so many people involved. The competition is incredible.
Yeah.
Most of these kids are so freaking smart.
Oh, they're genius. They're so smart. And watching those competitions, they create. It's almost like a robotic sporting event.
Yeah,
Is what it is. It's pretty neat. And I just thought the story was pretty cool. You guys, Mike Tyson and his neighbors are feuding. They're not getting along at all, and he and his Vegas neighbors are apparently involved in this huge argument over pigeon poop. Over his pooping pigeons. Apparently, these pigeons are pooping all over the neighbor's property, especially on their vehicles, which they say it is ruining their cars' detailing, and they're not happy at all with Mike Tyson.
So I know we all have our oddities,
Yeah.
and trust me, I know that I have mine, but this one, pigeons, I mean,
I don't get
if these
it.
are his pigeons, they're not like
Yes.
just
I don't know how you prove which poop on somebody's car came from his pigeon or a stray pigeon, a wild pigeon, I guess. How do you prove which bird's pooping on the car unless you can watch it, I guess, fly back to Tyson's home? Do they have like a cage there? I'm guessing. I know that he loves pigeons. They said as of 2015 he had 74 different pigeons, and he could recognize all of them, so he knows them all differently. But again, I don't know how you prove.
Did he name them?
I would imagine, right? If they're pets, don't you name them?
Yes.
I guess, but I mean, it's hard enough to. I have 4 kids. It's hard enough to come up with good names for 4 kids. Let alone 75 pigeons.
Pigeons don't need good names. That's the easy part.
Well, yeah,
You know, exactly.
Well,
Yes.
if you name each every boxer they beat, so that's probably about 40 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so the 1984 All-Star Game MVP trophy that was stolen from Isaiah Thomas is now being returned after it was listed for auction. So on Monday, Isaiah Thomas actually tweeted that the trophy was stolen from St. Joseph High School, which is in Illinois, the day that his high school coach died, which was back on June 26th, 2019. And I guess he has loaned several other trophies to the school. And in his tweet, he basically pleaded with this auction house to get these trophies back to him, saying, hey, hold on, these are mine, they belong to me, do not sell these. And thankfully, the auction house listened. They did their own fact checking and did find out that they did in fact belong to Isaiah Thomas, and they're being returned.
Way to go. I mean, the trophy was in his high school, and he was obviously a legendary high school player in Chicago. The coach was legendary too, Gene Pingatore, and I'm glad he got that back.
Yeah, for sure.
Did they find out who donated them?
That's the part I want to know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm guessing they must know who is listing them, right?
Yeah, well, because if they're going to auction them, the proceeds got to go somewhere.
Right. So who
And
was
so,
it? A high school kid?
Right, unless somebody sold it to somebody who sold it to somebody, then they
True.
put it for auction.
Kind of went down the list. All right, let's put this, you guys. So there's a guy in Florida who was busted with some drugs in his pocket earlier this week. But the guy told the cops that a stranger just walking down the street gave him not the drugs, but the pants. A stranger gave him the pants, so he decided, I'm going to put these pants on, not knowing what exactly was in the pocket. That was his excuse. Police didn't buy the pants story, and he was arrested. And not only is he facing drug possession charges, but he's also facing battery charges because when the cops showed up, he was getting into a fight with his brother.
Oh, maybe they were his pants.
His brother's pants. He didn't say anything about a pantsless man anywhere nearby, so I'm guessing they probably weren't the brothers, but you never know.
You never know. Maybe he wore the pants in the family. I don't know.
Obviously, he did.
Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
All right, coming up next, a feud brewing on ESPN. Not between two ESPN employees. We'll explain coming up next. 97 on the ticket.
Do you have $1 million home? I got $1 million buyers lined up. Hi, it's Mark Z with EXP. DTE wants you to use less energy and save more. Water heating alone consumes about 90% of the energy it takes to operate a clothes washer. So increase efficiency by washing in cold water and cleaning the filter on your dryer after each load. To get more tips, qualify for rebates, recycle appliances, or shop for discounts on energy-efficient products, go to dteenergy.com/save-energy and see how easy it is to save. DTE.
A big shout out to the LaFontaine family, celebrating 40 years in the car business. Family strong. Right now at LaFontaine Buick GMC, lease a new 2020 Buick Encore Demo for only $99 a month. Just $99 a month. Hurry into 4,000
FCA is looking to expand its skilled trades ranks and fill positions immediately. Current positions needed include industrial controls with experience in industrial troubleshooting with Ethernet IP communications, programmable logic controllers, and robotics programming. Candidates must have at least 4 years of combined experience in education and be able to provide documentation showing that they have the required experience in training. If you possess strong computer skills, experience with microcontroller programming, machine vision applications, commissioning, troubleshooting, or computerized maintenance management systems, join the team at FCA by going to careers.fcagroup.com. That's careers.fcagroup.com. This message is brought to you by Senka and Michigan Works on behalf of FCA, an equal opportunity employer.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
This hour of Instant Feedback brought to you by Mike Capero of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, call 877-734-2200.
At home, in your car, or at work. Detroit's sports station.
Pitch number 10 of the at-bat on the way. Swing a high fly ball left field, way back and going a home run.
Nice.
Looked like a changeup that sat middle of the plate, and Anderson was on a 10-pitch battle on a 1-2 count. Home run to left, his second of the year, 1-0 Sox, one batter in.
Now, battle, 10 pitches, and boom. Next batter got a home run as well. Matthew Boyd struggling, and they go at it. Actually, they're off today because the Cardinals doubleheader was supposed to be today. That was makeup of another game that was COVIDed out, so to speak, by the Cardinals. That's been postponed as well. So Tigers, they can deal with a day off. No doubt about it. We talked to Ron Gardenhire yesterday, and he was pretty happy that they were going to have a day off. Stanley Cup playoffs last night, game 1, round 1. The Bruins over Carolina in double overtime. The Islanders over the Capitals. The Flyers over the Canadiens, and the Canucks over the Blues. Still ahead, best number 18 in Detroit sports history, and the greatest continues at 8:35. We're doing football movies. Well, with the Big Ten canceling football, as we all know, the Pac-12 did as well. Do want to point out that the Big 12 announced the schedule yesterday. They are intent on playing unless some major outbreak occurs. Good for the Big 12. At least they're starting. We talked to Chris Hutchinson yesterday, and I ran into somebody who is also in the medical field and is a huge Michigan fan, and he works at Beaumont as well, like Chris Hutchinson. And he says, I love Chris Hutchinson, but he was 100% wrong. So it's incredible because that's the whole problem with this thing. There are so many opinions one way or the other. And in reading a lot of the stories, especially from the other parents besides Hutch, Dylan McCaffrey's mom, some of the other moms, I think, Carlo Kemp's mother.
Peach.
Yeah, they just want basically, they thought, just give it a shot. At least get to one, if there's no outbreak, try it for a game and then just see what happens. And that's what they want. I think they, not to, talk about this ad nauseum, I think what they should have done was just wait and see what happens once campus, once kids came to campus. Because to me, it's very hypocritical. If it's safe for kids to be in dorms together, there's going to be parties. It's also safe for people who have football in a basically controlled environment. Not completely, not a bubble, but
As much as they can.
As much as they can. I just think they should have either given it a shot or given it a few more weeks. That's all. I'm not saying they made the wrong decision. I just think the timing of it was bad. Now, we know, John, that a lot of people were upset as well, including the University of Nebraska's head football coach and their chancellor and their athletic director. Of course, their football coach is Scott Frost, the whiner of all whiners. He's been whining since 1997, right?
Yes.
When he stole half of your national championship, right?
Yes. Well, that's an old story. Everybody knows that one.
I know.
But, at UCF, they crowned themselves national champions.
Exactly. He just comes across, good coach. Hasn't done great in Nebraska yet. Just says, whiny. And yesterday on Get Up, where actually it was First Take on ESPN, Desmond Howard, he's been known to whine a little bit too. Sometimes goes after Mr. Frost.
I have a bitter taste in my mouth about that whole thing. I think it's greatly disrespectful to the new commissioner, Kevin Warren. Not only for Scott Frost to say that a couple of days ago, but then to have the chancellor and the president of the university back him up. I think it's extremely disrespectful, not only to Kevin Warren, but to the other presidents of the university and to all the other teams. Do you think that they're the only team that really wants to play? Of course not. All the teams and all the coaches want to play, but they're not whining and crying and then talking about an exit, talking about leaving the conference. I think that at this point, Greeny, I would demand an apology from the chancellor and the president and Scott Frost, and not one behind closed doors, a public apology. Or if I'm Kevin Warren right now, I'm working on the way to get their ass out of the Big Ten, because they don't bring that much that they need to be the only group that's sitting out here and not only criticizing the decision, but saying that they want to leave the conference and play somewhere. David, they ain't Notre Dame, baby. They ain't got their own TV contract, okay? They can't run independent like that.
He was talking to David Pollack, also of ESPN. Look, I think Desmond is right in some aspect. I think it was disrespectful. I think it was a little crazy to suggest leaving the Big Ten.
For a year.
Yeah.
For a year. They're not talking about leaving the Big Ten. And I guess I disagree with Desmond. And I think there'd probably be a lot of people listening, especially if you listen to my podcast, that I am taking sides with Scott Frost. But you've got to take everything into account. I don't think he needs to apologize. I don't see it as disrespectful. I see it. And why are we talking about, this is really going to blow your mind, Stoney. I'm going to defend Scott Frost, and I'm also going to defend Ryan Day. Because Ryan Day said the same thing yesterday after Gene Smith had basically backed what Kevin Warren said on Tuesday, that, hey, no, we did look into it, but that's been put to bed. And then Ryan Day said yesterday morning, we're still exploring all options. That is not any different than what Scott Frost said. Why is nobody calling out Ryan Day? Is it simply just because Ohio State's too big in the Big Ten right now?
No, I think because Scott Frost suggested they'd leave the conference. Ryan Day suggested we just want to play football against anybody. We don't care right now. So it's nothing about leaving the conference.
Well, and here's the issue.
And maybe semantics, but I think it's that. It's that.
Well, but here's I think Scott Frost just called it as he saw it, and that was the same thing that we've been talking about. Why come out with this grand schedule and give your kids hope that you're going to do everything you possibly can to play the season, even though it might be an abbreviated season? It's already going to be different. And then 4 or 5 days later, you hold a vote and say, no, it's not possible. That's ridiculous to me, and you provide no information to back up what changed, why you made that decision. Was it simply because the president said, no, we're going to make this decision, and it's their decision to make? I'm not saying that. But where was the communication on Wednesday with the commissioner of the Big Ten, Kevin Warren? Could they not have given him a heads up and said, hey, we're considering voting, this is where we're leaning, maybe you want to hold off on that schedule before you give everybody, including the student athletes, hope that there's going to be a college football season?
No, you're absolutely right about that. I just don't think, I agree with Desmond. You don't sit there and talk about leaving the Big Ten, especially, and actually Feinbaum went after Frost too a little bit, saying basically, what has Nebraska done since they've even been in the Big Ten?
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Their success or their failures in the Big Ten. I mean, Paul Feinbaum loves to point that out, and we know how much what he thinks about the Big Ten. We know what he thinks about Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
So I don't have any respect for things that he says. Desmond, I have some respect for, but I think he needs to take the brakes off just a little bit and say, hey, this was an emotional couple of days. The coach has to look his players in the eye, and he has to know, the players need to know that the coach has his back.
Yeah, I understand that. But you can still do it through a statement saying that you disagree with the decision, you're upset, move on from there. Look, I understand it's emotional. I don't think he needs to apologize. I think Desmond went a little over the top. But, seriously, Nebraska, if you want to leave the Big Ten, leave the Big Ten. I don't think any Big Ten fans would sit there right now and really be upset if Nebraska, Maryland, Rutgers left the Big Ten. Jim
Not
DeLay,
right now.
right.
But Nebraska, if we're talking about the Big Ten West, and yes, it's always been Wisconsin, it's Iowa, we're starting to see Minnesota. If we want to have a good conference, we need Nebraska in the West, and we need them to be good. Are they good right now? Absolutely not. Will they be in a few years? I believe they will be.
I don't know, because the recruiting landscape has changed so much. I don't think Nebraska has the appeal that it once did. Quite honest with you.
It doesn't, but Scott's done a good job, especially this year. And this is where I'm disappointed for the Nebraska team, is they had 5 recruits at wide receiver that in the next couple of years are going to be game changers.
Well, good. Then it would be good. But still, you don't kick it. You don't sit there and threaten to leave the Big Ten, even if it is for a year. That's a joke. But go play. Maybe call them exhibition games, whatever. I have no problem if they want to play. But you know nobody's going to let them play. The presidents still run the schools. What needs to happen here is the presidents of each school. Schlitzohl needs to have a press conference. Stanley needs to have a press conference, and all the other presidents of the other Big Ten schools needs to have a press conference and answer questions. That's what they need to. That's what they need to do. And rather than Kevin Warren is getting shredded nationally. You know what? I don't think it's his fault. And like I said yesterday, if the SEC plays and Mississippi State plays and his son plays, he should just resign as commissioner of the Big Ten because he has no power.
No, and not only that, but they made him look like a fool.
Right.
And Kevin Warren is a really good guy. He's an intelligent guy. We know what he did for the Vikings. We know what he's done for the city of Minneapolis. He's a high-quality individual, and I've got a lot of respect for him. And he is taking so many hits right now simply for the fact that, like you said, the presidents are hiding behind, our medical professionals said this, and we released a statement, and we're done. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
Our telephone number, 248-539-9797. That's also the ticket text number as well. Coming up next, John Jansen, and maybe some of you, have something in common with fans of Barry Sanders. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Henry Ford College. North of the Fenton area, US 23 northbound is closed between Thompson and Grand Blanc roads because of an earlier accident, causing backups in both directions now. Also, the 2 left lanes are closed due to a crash on 75 southbound at the Davison. Looking for a career-focused education in 2 years or less? At Henry Ford College, their 1-year and 2-year programs get you ready for big things. They also offer 4-year options like culinary school and dozens of transfer programs. Get ready for your future at Henry Ford College. Visit hfcc.edu. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Now, text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
Sports are back, and that means that the BetMGM Sports Lounge inside MGM Grand Detroit is ready to take your real money wagers on all the action. Stop by anytime to place your bets at the live betting window or one of the easy-to-use self-service kiosks. Baseball, basketball, and hockey action already in full swing, the BetMGM Sports Lounge welcomes fans back to the excitement of a full betting menu 7 days a week. Whether you live and breathe sports or you're just looking to place a wager on all your favorite teams, the BetMGM Sports Lounge at MGM Grand Detroit is ready to take your single game bets, along with parlays, props, future bets, and much more. Me personally, I like to just throw a few bucks on a future bet and hope to hit it big. There's no better place in Michigan to celebrate the return of major sports. Stop by the betting window or self-service kiosk anytime to get a piece of the action. Get ready to believe in your game again at the BetMGM Sports Lounge at the MGM Grand Detroit. Must be 21 or older.
This Radio.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Hall Financial. Go to DavidHallMortgage.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Radio.com Sports Minute. I've always been a fan of Sean McDermott, but even I didn't think he would be this impressive in Buffalo this soon. McDermott has been the HC of the Bills since 2017 and has seen 2 playoff appearances. McDermott's defense has been special, and since 2017 they've allowed the 10th fewest points per game, the 5th fewest yards per game, and the 2nd fewest passing yards per game. McDermott isn't just making an impact on defense, as he's quickly impressed with Bills wide receivers Stephon Diggs. He said McDermott is a guy you can run for a ball for. Luckily for Bills players, they will be seeing a lot more of McDermott because the coach yesterday inked a 6-year contract extension that ties him to Buffalo through the 2025 season. McDermott is off to a great start, but still has work to do, and that starts with winning the AFC East, something Buffalo hasn't done since 1995. Yes, it's another mountain to climb, but with McDermott entering year 4, it should happen. I'm Zach Gelb.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to PrilosecOTC.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started. Plus, 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to PrilosecOTC.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Oh, wow, Bob, that's a lot of work. What? You're waxing your car the old-fashioned way. Why? Because I want the look, the protection, you know. Well, now there's a better way. 303 touchless sealant. Spray on and rinse off. You're done in minutes. And it lasts longer than the wax you'll be pushing around your hood all afternoon.
Sold. 303 touchless sealant it is.
Hey, where are you going? Everywhere, Bob. It's a beautiful day. 303 touchless sealant. All the protection and shine in no time. Available at Advance Auto Parts.
The Carpet Guys are hiring. Do you need money and a stable job? The Carpet Guys, a growing local Michigan company, is now hiring people just like you for our installation department and warehouse. Send your resume today to careers@carpetguys.com. That's careers@carpetguys.com. Basement Waterproofing of Michigan is hiring. BWM, a growing local company, is now hiring people just like you for general labor, sales associate, warehouse, and crew leaders. Email your resume today to careers@fixmybasement.com. That's careers@fixmybasement.com.
You know, I used to think that Medicare was one big complex mystery. What's covered, what's not. Then I made one phone call to United Healthcare and got the answers I needed. In one call, I learned I could combine my Medicare coverage into a single plan for little or no extra money. With the AARP Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare, I get more coverage than original Medicare. My prescription drugs are included, plus other great benefits like dental and 24/7 virtual doctor visits with zero copays. Plus, it's the only plan with the AARP name. So if you're turning 65 or have questions about the mysteries of Medicare, make that one call to United Healthcare at 1-855-9-GET-UHC. That's 1-855-9-GET-UHC. Or go to getuhcmedicaretoday.com.
Paid actor portrayal. Benefits and availability may vary by plan and location. United Healthcare Insurance Company pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. AARP does not employ or endorse agents, producers, or brokers.
You could win a JJ's Prime Steaks and Cheesecakes prize pack that includes JJ's Amazing Choice Pack and JJ's Gourmet Chicken Pack. That's over $400 in meat. Text JJ's Steaks to 20357 to win now with 97.1 the ticket.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the Radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere. The 0-2. Swinging a fly ball right field. Deep trouble. Going back. Reyes looking up, and it's gone. A home run. My goodness gracious. Fastball away. Eloy Jimenez homers for the third time in 9 career at-bats against Matthew Boyd. And just like that, back-to-back home runs to start the game. The White Sox take any good feeling that Matthew Boyd might have had coming into this game away. They've got a 2-0 lead.
And Matthew Boyd struggling this season. ERA's over 10. Tigers lose 7-5. Back in action tomorrow.